Boy, you know what time it is.
Welcome to the Bromigos Podcast.
I need it!
Hey, how are you?
This is amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Bromigos Podcast, episode 50. We made it to 50 episodes, motherfuckers. We are back in the stew. We got some guests with us, but before we introduce them, let me introduce ourselves. Undercover brother here.
I know it's your boy Dame Money. Was good with y'all.
And that's the old man of the show, Panama Red. What's up? What's up?
And we have the pleasure. It's not often we have guests on this show, but when we have guests, it's always a special occasion. We have two good friends of ours in the podcasting community, the Bleach Bros Podcast, B-Word, Jake the Hater, joining us today. It is a pleasure to have you guys on. I have been looking forward to this for quite some time now.
Oh, thanks for having us on, bro.
Yeah, it's good to be on, man. I follow you guys, listen to you guys' shows. Everything's good.
Appreciate it.
Well, yeah, we really do appreciate it, man. So before we get into some other topics, let's talk about you guys a little bit. Let's put you over, shall we? I have a couple questions for you guys because this is just my own general curiosity. How do you guys even know each other? Like, I think if I'm not mistaken, you both lived in Nevada at one point or still currently live in Nevada. But how did you guys come to meet? And how long have you known each other?
So since second grade, I can't do math right now. So a long time we've been best friends. Essentially, I was the tiny kid in school, and B-Word was as big as he is now. He's a big boy. And he walked up to me on the playground and he goes, "I'm going to pick you up." And he picked me up and then walked and carried me around going, "Look, everybody, I could pick Jake up." And then we became friends ever since. And that's not a joke. That's literally it. He just picked me up and would walk me around and say, "We're bros." And then we became best friends.
Hold on. We have to ask the question. How did you pick him up? Did you pick him up like this way, where it's like you got the arm fully in there? Or did you do the fireman's carry? Or
like Theo Vaughn said, he's had an adult dick since he was 4 years old. I picked Jake up straight from the dick. Like, I just lifted him up, hold him like a plunger, just carried him around. The whole works. No, but seriously, I think I just grabbed him like in a hug and just picked him up and walked him everywhere. It was crazy. The big thing was like back in the day, they would do these tetherball tournaments in high school, and there was this one kid named Joel who just was kind of a dick with the tetherball, and so I think I walked him over there, and then we confronted him or something. I don't really remember all the details, Jake. If I'm missing something, you let me know. But that was kind of the thing that we just did. It was just, I don't know, two kids doing things.
Yeah, man. What were we gonna say, Jake? Were you gonna say something?
No, the only other thing, there's a few memorable things. Because the thing was, B-Word would move away for a few years, and then he would come back, and then he'd move away, and then all of a sudden the next year he's back, and he's like, "Hey, I'm here again." I'm like, "Oh fuck!" So he would be gone for 2-3 years out of my life, and then come back like herpes every now and then, and I'd be like, "Oh, I gotta take my Valtrex. Thanks for the reminder." Now we have alarms on our phones. Back then, I just had a B-Word who bugged me up my ass.
So hold on a second. B-Word, did you always have that name in school, or how did that come to be? Because we talked about this. How did you get the name B-Word?
Yeah, I think it came up in high school because my name is Brian Howard. So B for Brian, obviously, and then word for the latter part of Howard. Just kind of, I think it was in football or whatever. They just started calling me B-Word.
Because he's a big old bitch.
But yeah, I think it's
really
because
why.
I'm a big old bitch, dude. Like, straight up.
That begs the question to you then, Jake. You're known as Jake the Hater. Were you always known as Jake the Hater, or
No,
was it something that came up when you guys started Bleach Bros?
No, that came up when I was doing ESPN radio up here. I used to be a fill-in host for Fox Sports and stuff, and I hate, as you know, the Golden Knights, but I hate the Oregon Ducks, and I hate a lot of teams, and I would go on the air and just rip fucking teams apart. And I had a fan call in one night and goes, Jake, who are the teams that you actually even like? Because I don't know any. I've never met somebody in sports that has no affiliation, but I know everybody you hate. And so he started calling me the hater. So then on the air, everybody just started when they would call in, they'd be like, "Hey, screw you, hater," and go off. And then it just went from there.
You must have got how often did people call you? How many I don't know how many hours you were on for, but was that every call you would get?
Hey, dude, all the time. I was supposed to box Evan Turner from the Blazers because we hate each other so bad. Me and LaMichael James had a big beef. I mean, I live up in duck country, and I fucking hate those people because, I mean, they're just like the fucking animal that they root for. They're fair weather fans. They fly south where real football belongs when it's cold, and then when it's hot, they're here. I've never seen a team that cares more about being a fucking cheerleader than playing football. I mean, they got more fucking jersey combinations than Barbie. It's a freaking joke, dude. So I don't know. I'd get a lot of hatred up here, but I'm a contrarian. I have no problem being in a room like that. So I don't mind standing out. Like if somebody disagrees with me, I'll stand there and take it all day, even if there's 16 of them around, just going off. So I don't know. I've been able to always do that.
And that translates to Jake likes a bukkake.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said it and not.
I knew your face. You were sitting there going, dude. I was just imagining that picture of like the 4 chocolate donuts around the 1 glazed donut. And I'm going, I'm getting glazed in a second. I know it.
So you guys have a show called Bleach Bros Podcast. First of all, why is it called Bleach Bros? Is it because people want to drink bleach while they watch it, or is it just like a roll off the tongue sort of name? And how did you guys go about formulating your episodes? Because the way I like listening to your show, like you guys said, you enjoy our show. I really enjoy listening to your show because it's not like any other podcast. Like there's other podcasts that we are friends with, and I also enjoy their shows. But the way you guys structure your episodes is like really easy to listen to. So
thanks, I appreciate that.
So you ever have those moments that you want to regret, but you don't regret, but you like when you explain it to people, you just shake your head and you're like, why this happened? So when B-Word came back into my life in high school, we had one of those questionable moments, and I'll put it that way. But we went down to the grocery store and we decided we were all going to bleach our pubes together. Okay. And I could see Panama Red's like head tilt. Like he loves white people, right? I can tell right now that this. So we go to Smith's. And we go get some hair dye, bleach, whatever. Because B-Word used to bleach his tips like Justin Timberlake. He had ramen head, So we're like, hey, let's all do it downstairs. So we went, no joke. We get softcore porn. We get fucking bleach. And we go back. And dude, I'm not lying. It's all true.
No, that's a true story.
We all go in a room and we all just start bleaching our pubes, right? Oh, it gets way worse too, bros. So we're bleaching our pubes and this porn's on. And I'm like trying to sit over there and watch this. And they're all bleaching, and so then that's where people found out, what I had, I guess, going on. And then our other buddy Mitch from Two Guys in the Dart, one of the other Bleach Bros, we called him Pancake Nuts because I've never seen 2 like over easy giant fucking eggs sitting on somebody's lap. And so we're all in the room doing this, and my friend's parents are down the hall. Well, all of a sudden it all starts burning, right? Because we're not reading the instructions. We're teenage boys, so we're just leaving on too long. So we all try to run for the bathroom at the same time. So then it turns into B-Word in the shower, me in the shower. It's a bathtub shower, So there's 3 dudes in the shower. The other one, Bobo, is at the fucking sink, and he's trying to clean himself. I'm at the bath faucet head, right? Like crouched on the ground, trying to turn the water on. I'm hitting that little button so the water would go on my crotch, and B-Word keeps pulling it to flip it up so it'd spray overhead. My friend's dad walks in at this point, and he doesn't know what to think because there's just three dudes bleaching their pubes, trying to figure out life. And he just goes, dinner's ready. Does anybody want a Dr. Pepper? And that moment, everybody just looks over. I don't want a Dr. Pepper, sir.
Yeah.
We all became the Bleach Bros since.
It was.
I'm not drunk enough for this conversation.
This is literally why I said you need white friends. Niggas don't do this kind of shit.
Yeah.
You need white friends, bro.
Dude,
don't
forget, we also bought Kool-Aid, and like we're doing little designs in our pubes and shit too. But one of the funniest parts is Bobo. We were at Bobo's house, and his sister had the biggest crush on Mitch from Two Guys in the Dart, and so we ended up taking Mitch's clothes from him, and he had to walk back to the room without a towel or clothes, just straight up pancake nuts hanging out. And his sister was like, "Hi, Mitch," and like it was the greatest thing. And honestly, like it was, you always question like, how do you forget that story? But I literally forgot about that story for like a few years. And as soon as I met up with Mitch from Two Guys in the Dart after several years, he's like, "Hey, you remember that time that?" And I was like, holy shit, because there were so many stories that spawned off of that one. Like after we bleached each other's, well, I should refrain. Let me rephrase.
I know
After
he
we
bleached.
bleached
Pick your
our
words very
pubes,
carefully, or else you're gonna end up like Dante a couple weeks ago.
we ended up going outside, and we there was this fifth wheel, and it was his parents' fifth wheel, and we're playing in the fifth wheel or whatever. And in the oven is actually like a 16-inch double-headed dildo.
No. I put the dildo in the oven because I found it, and I thought it'd be hilarious when they went on a camping trip because I know they were the type of people that don't check their shit. And then they came back a couple months later, and I was in trouble because they were everybody knew it was me calling me, and Bobo going, "Hey Jake, my parents are pissed. You made us cook their fucking dildo on our camping trip. The whole fucking fifth wheel smelled like dirty cooch the whole weekend." So.
And then we found stacks. So like I don't know if everybody does this or not, or somebody has a friend's parents who did this, but Bobo's dad meticulously collected Penthouse, and they were all numbered and shit, and like a library. Well, I didn't know that. So when I finish, I end up reaching in the middle and just grab whatever number I grab, and I open it. And when I open it, a Polaroid's right in the middle. Like I open right to the Polaroid, and it's just hair and like a red thong. And I'm like, what in the fuck is this? So I'm holding it up going, guys, what is this? Turns out it's Bobo's mom. So yeah.
Bobo doesn't talk. Well, he's the only silent
that.
Bleach bro. He doesn't talk to us still to this day. I mean, we melted a dildo in his car or his family's camper. We found a picture of his mom. We were bleaching her pubes, showing pancake nuts to his sister. I mean, we were those bros.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was funny because then when we started talking and we started talking about doing a podcast, and it took us a while. We did some practice, but we were trying to come up with a name, and eventually I was like, dude, why don't we just embrace this shithead story that we had forever? And so we went with the Bleach Bros, and I'm glad you like it because when we first started, of course, everybody's got a fucking opinion. You guys got friends that listen, and they're like, oh, your show should be about this, or I like this, and they give you, and every Tom, Dick, and Harry's got a fucking opinion, but
every guru, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they would tell us like, if you just focused on baseball only, I would love your show. Or we just decided we wanted to talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. And it makes it nice. We can have random guests. We can talk as we want. We can go with pop culture at the time, or we can pre-record episodes. So that's pretty much how it goes. It's pretty much the conversations that B-Word and I have because we talk almost every day. We've been best friends since 2nd grade. And the show came out because my wife kept joking, like, he's your second wife. You guys talk 5 hours a night sometimes. Why don't you just fucking make a show and see if you're funny and put it out there? And it's done its own thing now. So,
well, I mean, you guys have like a little mini empire going on because you've got Bleach Bros, the Hateful Gnome with Dads on Dayquil's Gnome, which is like all music and I think metal, if I'm not mistaken, because I think you're a big metalhead, Jake, as am I. Then you have your Patreon stuff, which I've also heard the snippets of on your regular feeds. And that's also fantastic. You guys are like, and then B-Word, you just started your own podcast, which is the Unfiltered Discussions.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys have like a little mini empire going on there.
Yeah, we got a network going on, and what's really fun is that we like to collaborate with others, but also, some of the interests that Jake has is not my interest, and some of the interests that I have is not Jake's interest, and so we're all involved in everything, but it's in networking, as an example, we hooked up with the Dads on Dayquil, and we became really good friends with them. And Gnome and Jake really started talking music and said, hey, let's put this down to a podcast. And so that's how that became. And then I got involved with that on the back end. And then, everything's kind of tied in together. So we found podcasting was a good route to just be creative and be expressive. And then, of course, meeting up with the podcast community has all been fun too.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm glad to have met you guys because I think over time, I don't know when exactly me and you guys specifically became friends because, as we all know, I have a different show that started before Bromigos. So I can't pinpoint the time where I really started talking to you guys, but I just remember you guys being always cool. So, and I guess, and I'm glad you guys are on this show, which I think fits all of our demographics perfectly, to be honest, because we talk about everything. I mean, and you guys talk about everything. Speaking of talking, I'm doing way too much of it. Would anybody like to interject, Daint or Panama? Because I know you guys have some topics.
Let me tell you something. You never get to talk this much.
Yeah, man, you do a great job. I'm letting you rock, dog.
Really? Oh, thanks, guys. That's the nicest thing you guys have ever said to me.
No. I mean, I came semi-prepared, and then you asked pretty much what I wanted to know, and then I was like, all right, man, you know, steer the shit, baby, steer the shit.
I mean, you told me to steer the ship before the fucking show, before we started recording. So I'm just like, I'm just doing what I do, you know. Like this is, you know, when like for instance, you asked us how we all got together. Like, we all got together through a broadcasting school, and that's just kind of what I want to do. It's just this is the kind of stuff I thrive on, you know. So I appreciate that compliment, gentlemen. But Mike, I know, and Dante, I think you might have some topics as well. I know you had one topic that you wanted to get into, Mike. That, you know, we have two older gentlemen here. No disrespect, you guys, but you had something in regards to dating that you wanted to talk.
Wait,
about.
hold on. First of all, what you mean old, bro?
Listen, I ain't gonna hold you, Mike. I made that joke at episode 38.
I ain't
You're at this point, you're reaching fucking ancient, dust, dirt, fossil.
Wow.
Bro, I'm not 70. God damn.
I feel at the age where my nuts fucking float in the toilet. It's crazy.
I mean, we're not. I mean, I'm not going to afford you. That's okay. That's all right.
But no, like
nothing. No, man. So I know that Jake, the hater, is married. B-word, you married?
No. Thank God. Tried that once.
Okay.
Maybe
all right.
again, but yeah, no.
Well, I've never been married, so I can't. I try not to speak too much on it because I never been married. So what the hell do I know? But I have had. I don't know what your experience been like with dating after post marriage, but I have found it pretty. It was a lot easier when we were younger, like in our 20s. It was so much easier. It seemed far less complicated than nowadays. You know, whether it's, you know, salary requirements, or you have to look like this or talk like this, or I have children and you need to accept that. And how's that been for you?
You know, I got. I'll answer that question by saying this. I was. It was my birthday. It was right around my birthday one year, and they had this. Well, the drink's still out there. It's Four Locos. I don't know if you guys have that on the East Coast, but I'd never had it. And the news media was talking about how they were going to remove it from the shelves because mixing caffeine and alcohol is not a thing. Well, I had never had it before, so I was like, well, shit. If they're going to outlaw it, I'm going to try it now. So I bought 3 cans. And I drank the first can, and little did I know I was playing with fire. And I tried half of the second can, and I realized I needed to back up off this mountaintop. So I did, and I handed the cans over to a buddy of mine. Well, anyway, we get this massive drunk B-word going on everywhere, whatever, and we end up in a strip club. And I remember my buddy Hefe, he was talking about, you know, hey, we're businessmen from Vegas. You know, like everybody's kind of got that story when you're going into a strip club, you know, like we're businessmen from Vegas. Like this is our story. And that's all I remember. I'm sure there was more to it. So I get in there, and this beautiful lady, of course, they were all beautiful at this point. I'm sitting in the chair, and she comes up, she sits on my lap, and she's like the hey babies, you know, the whatever she's saying, you know, trying to get whatever money I got. And at this point I look at her and I'm like, look, you see what I look like? I'm white, I'm fat, and I'm broke. What do you got for me? And it was like a funny thing, right? But really in today's society, to answer your question more specifically, if you have something that's out of character from what somebody's looking for, like, you know, you don't like somebody of a certain ethnicity, or you don't like somebody of a certain height or stature, you don't like somebody of a certain income level, I feel like you really just kind of eliminate a whole segment of the population. You know, there's a lot of women that are like, oh, if you're not 6 foot, then I don't fuck with you. And I think that that's a whole big thing where a lot of women are like 5'3" saying that. Like, what's the difference to you? You're looking up regardless, right? So I don't know, man. Dating today sucks. I feel like I agree with you, because when we were in our 20s, it was you'd meet somebody somewhere. Yeah. And whether it be the grocery store, whether it be the bar, whether it be the club, whether it be whatever, and you'd take a liking to each other, and you'd have a conversation, and you'd ask them to go to dinner, you'd ask them to go wherever. And now with social media the way that it is, you have to fit into a category. You have to fit within a box, or else you're simply swipe left on, or swipe right, whatever the direction is, right? And so if you don't fit in that box, like you're never going to have that shot. And then separately, we don't talk to each other out in public anymore. Like, we don't pick up on people at the grocery store anymore. We don't pick up on people at restaurants or bars or whatever. I mean, there's a segment that still does, but for the most part, you don't. And so it sucks, man. Like, it's an entirely different world right now. 20 years ago was a fantastic time for dating. 15 years ago was a fantastic time for dating. Really, within the last 5-10 years, it's really sucked.
You mentioned the social media aspect. And I think me and Dante can kind of attest to that more, since that's more of our realm, so to speak. I mean, Dante, you can touch on it if you'd like, because I know we've talked about this several times in the past. But I think just the fact of people putting all their business out there on social media too kind of attests to why dating is so tough. Because, like, look at the Instagram models. Like, Dane, what do you think about that, man?
Yeah, they be putting all their business out there in the street. So, like, I already seen the merchandise, so I clearly ain't got to work for it. So it's kind of like, what's the point? If I go on Instagram, I see this bad bitch. I mean, she got big old fat Kim Kardashian booty, big old Salma Hayek titties. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. Come on,
AKA
man.
my dream woman somewhere.
Yeah. Nah, but I mean, you see stuff like that, and you see them, prancing around in bikinis and expressive clothing. I don't have any problem with that, but that's not the kind of person or kind of girl that I want to involve myself with, or at least date, because you're already showing everybody what I personally want to work in order to see and work in order to get. It's kind of like trying to get inside a club. You got the bitches that just get in without paying the fee. Then you got to get patted down. It's a process. It's a process. I'm trying to get inside the club so I can shoot it up. All right, that's what I'm trying to do.
Whoa! What do you mean by shoot it up?
It's
terrible. It's terrible.
We on the Bromigos podcast don't shoot up anything. Balls.
But like that, for real though. Like when especially now with dating, it's so difficult. Also because especially with all these dating apps out here, like things like Tinder. I mean, how are you really supposed to get to know somebody when you just swiping left or right? I mean, me and my boys talking about this last night. We used to hop on Tinder because we were bored. Like it's like a game. I'm not really trying to get to know you. How am I supposed to know you if I look at 3 pictures of you and you put down 3 mildly specific facts about your life? You like to drink, you like movies, and
you're a Sagittarius. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Zodiac
exactly.
sign. Yeah, it's like what is in what realm does that allow me to get to know you as a person? And then what happens? You slide into the DMs and it's 1 or 2 things. You hit her up and it's like, oh, this could be a nice conversation. Or, ew, you're a creep. Why are you sliding in my DMs? Leave me alone. So how else am I supposed to contact you? It's not like bitches be outside. You can have a normal conversation anymore because you try to approach a female in public. What happens? You get turned down, or you're a creep because why are you talking to me in the club? I don't want to be social in a social environment. These bitches make no sense to me these days.
It's funny you mentioned that though, because like I remember back when we were in Connecticut School of Broadcasting, you were fiending back then. Like a year, like a little over a year ago, you were fiending. Let's be honest.
Fiending for what?
You were always on the dating apps and shit. Like every couple of days, you'd show me some bitches you were matching with. This is before you have your current girlfriend. So guys, I know she might listen to this. So this is way before she met you.
So let me ask you guys something here, because we're all men, right? So we all deal with things a certain way. If you find somebody 10 years after their hoe phase, right? After they were an Instagram model, after that's all folded up, after whatever, and you really take a liking to them, do you use their past as a measure of their character?
No. Yeah.
Okay, good.
That's disgusting.
Good. Because I do think that there's a lot of people that are out there that flaunt themselves, that do whatever they're trying to do for whatever form of attention that they're trying to get, whether it's money or actual likes or, some sort of self-esteem hits or whatever, that are making decisions based on instant gratification. Whereas when they grow up later in life, they're like, man, that was a stupid part of my life. Like, I want to be the person who I am now. Like, I just saw who's that chick that was on an airplane that said that the dude's
oh,
fake?
that hottie. Send me her actual.
She's fine as fuck. Okay, she's fine as fuck.
Yeah.
But she just started a Twitter that I just happened to, or X or whatever you call it now, that I just happened to follow in hopes that she's going to release some sort of something or another, because she's fine, right? But 10 years from now, 10 years from now, like maybe there was some sort of alien reptile son of a bitch on the back of the plane, and this woman's like actually some sort of legit something or another. But I think that when you get into the dating scene, like especially at our age, like Panama, you and I, Jake, if he were to get into the dating scene now, Dante, I don't know how old you are, but I know that the undercover brother's pretty young, so I can't put him into this category. But when you're 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, in those ages, there's a lot of stupid ass decisions that were made at 22, 23, 24 that you can't hold against somebody later in life, especially if they've reformed from it or if they've changed their life from it. So I felt like it was an important question to ask just because I've done some stupid shit. I've laid my dick in places that I really wish I wouldn't, and I don't want that to be held against me either.
So
go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, because I had something I wanted to add to that, but you go ahead.
I'm going to, for me, it depends on what you've done. So let's say I have found myself in my younger days to be very promiscuous, right? If a woman herself has been, her level of promiscuity, that has nothing to do with me. That I don't care about. However, for example, could I date a porn star? If I could, would I? My answer is no. That I can't do.
Right.
What you
don't want to have a good day at work, Mike?
Everybody's seen it. Now you want to post yourself in lingerie, like OnlyFans models. It's a hard pass for me. I can't. Now you want to model, you want to post risque photos and things like that.
What if she's just posting her feet?
I don't give a fuck about her feet. I don't like feet anyways. Somebody else can admire them. Right. I don't give a shit about the damn feet. But you seeing having intercourse with other people is a no for me. I'm good. Like
I dated 2 porn stars.
What?
And so I won. The second one was by
accident.
The second one was an accident, and every time I say it, everybody laughs, but it's true. The first one is when I was in Vegas, and B-Word can attest to this. I was living it up, and I thought it was the thing to do. And no joke, I came home, and we were living together at the time, and I did that thing where I walked in, set my keys down, I look over to go, hey babe, I'm home, and then I kept walking, and I went, what the fuck did I just see? And I did the step back, right? And I stepped back, and she's in my living room reading a book, bouncing on a butt plug that's just massive, just hammering down on it, right? Like in front of a mirror. And I go, are you all right? And she goes, oh yeah, I'm just getting ready for tomorrow. And I just went, well, what's tomorrow? And she goes, and this is what she said. She goes, I'm getting railed by 4 black dudes. And I went, okay. And then she goes, would you ever like to come to work with me? And I just went, this is my fucking life. And I just kept walking. I went, this is my life. And I realized at that point, like, why am I doing this? I'm doing it for the wrong reasons. And it's one of those things like everybody thinks it's awesome until you're in it. Like, you're like, oh, that would be great. It's like, dude, they're on a schedule. Like, she would tell me, oh, we can't do anything because you can't beat my kitty up. And I can't have it looking bad for the scene tomorrow. And I'm thinking, I didn't even think it ever looks bad, but okay, whatever. I can't do that. Or she'd come home like, oh, I'm really tired. And all that meant was I'm not getting any because all her holes are tired. Like, even she doesn't want to talk. She doesn't want to shit. And she doesn't want to get fucked. So I'm really screwed. The second one was I was at Red Rock Casino. And I was supposed to be going on a date, and this girl came up and bought me a drink. And she's like, what you doing here? I was like, oh, I'm here for a date. And she hands me a card, and she goes, when you're bored and done with her, give me a call. So 6 months later, I gave her a call, and I was like, hey. And she's like, hey, let's go out. So we hung out and had a blast, and we're dating for a while. And then all of a sudden, she moved to California. And she came back to Vegas to visit, and she hits me up going, hey, I'm in town for a convention. Now, boys, there was only 2 conventions in town that weekend. The AVN Awards
exactly what this is.
Or the Cheerleaders of America. Now, my stupid ass, as B-Word will say, there are moments that I'm just really dumb, okay? I'm thinking, what? Wow, I did not know she became a cheerleading coach. And I'm sitting there like, okay. She goes, hey, I'll pick you up at your place. I made reservations at Morton's. And all I'm thinking is Morton's Steakhouse. That's expensive for a cheerleading coach, but whatever. I don't know what she's making. I don't know who she's coaching for. I'm going in this mindset thinking innocent hot chick, pick me up, whatever. Shows up at my house. There's a Lamborghini outside. And she goes, you want to drive? Throws me the keys. I'm like, fuck yeah. Drive to dinner. We're sitting there. She pulls out some photos. We're talking because that's back in the day before fucking smartphones, right? So I am old. We're looking at shit through it, like looking at the photos. She's like, this is a new house I bought. And maybe me, I'm trying to put 2 and 2 together, but I'm just not. And all of a sudden, with a big old bite of steak in my mouth, I'm like, so how the fuck did you afford that Lamborghini and house on a cheerleader's salary? And she goes, why the fuck do you think I'm a cheerleader? I'm like, well, the convention's in town. And you said you were here for it. She goes, I mean, sometimes I'm a cheerleader, Jake, but I'm here for best anal scene. And I'm like, I go, oh, I can't introduce you to my mom. I've been down this road. But here's the shithead moment of me. Okay, I'll admit, because I'm young, I'm being a shithead. I'm just like, how the fuck can I drive this car back home? Because now she's crying and flipping out because I don't want to be with her, and I'm explaining why I don't want to be with her. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm holding it against her because it's not the past, it's in the moment, right? It's in the fucking moment. I don't want to go down this. So all of a sudden I look at her and go, hey, I'm sorry you're crying. I need to get it home though. Can I please drive myself home? And she goes, yeah, hands me the keys, drove home. We never talked since. Now I'll always end the story with this is everybody's always asked me who it was and I'll never say it. And the reason is because when I was dating at the time and I thought it was cool and I was dating a porn star, all my guy friends, I've jerked off to your girl. Yeah, dude, you and probably everybody else. I'm pretty sure they have. I'm sure my brother has. I'm sure my dad has. Like just, I don't care. So I stopped doing that. But I will say like it's too easy. Like the three things I think that ruined dating, and I would hate it if me and my wife got divorced. For one, we're divorced, but two, getting back in the dating pool because social media and dating apps ruined everything, right?
Yep.
Because as B-Word was saying, if you're not 6 foot, you can, click like, I only want somebody 5'7" to 6'1". And so you've eliminated anybody out of the possibility that could be outside your realm with an open mind, right? Two, the reset button on Nintendo, Sega Genesis, whatever fucking machine you had ruined dating. And what I mean by that is the younger generation, and that's including some of us, can't stand losing. So as Dante was saying, like, he doesn't want to hear a no. I get that. I like to bat 1,000 too. But I didn't get to where I was at in the dating pool without hitting 266. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's one of those things the younger kids just want to hit the reset button and start over and get the perfect score every time. The third one, anal's way too easy. And I don't just mean anal sex, but what I mean is girls give it up way too easy. And guys do too. Guys always have. But the difference is it's out there in the megaverse now that we can see at all times. Like as Dante's saying, you've already seen the goods. I remember there were girls I would work for, like B-Word saying, he's following that girl's Twitter just in case something happens. It's like, I remember chasing girls going, man, if I could just see a titty, I'm happy. I'll put in the work. I'll take her to lunch. I'll do this. And then it happened to be like, okay, she's an assembly required girl. That girl's built like a McDonald's sandwich. I don't need it anymore.
Have it your way.
That's Burger King.
I think that's Burger. What the fuck? B-Word. I think
the thing. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Mike.
No, go ahead, Frank. Go ahead. You gave me the last.
I was gonna say because like for me anyway, because like we're always referencing this on the show that my confidence has been shot and it's been shot for a long time. It's been shot since COVID. I'm not gonna hold you. So for me, like there's this one girl that I have interest in, but now like I have to deal with any sort of trauma from my last relationship that still kind of fucks with me to this day. And on top of that, I've already been rejected so much through like those apps and shit that it's just like, man, this one girl I really like she's a coworker of mine. She's not gonna listen to this, so I don't give a shit. But like I really like her. Like I try talking to her, but every time like I fucking get nervous, like I can't string together sentences. That's how bad it is. Sometimes. Mike's looking at me like, oh, here we go again.
if I can just say something on that, Matt. So like I heard your last episode, I think it was the last episode, maybe the one before that, where you guys were talking a little bit about this, but it's kind of like what Jake said. If you never take a swing at the plate, you're always going to be out. Like, take the swing, dude. Like,
I'm batting like negative 100 at this
That's
point.
the difference with our generation, I think, because we're probably, I don't know if we're a full generation ahead of you, but we're like a half generation ahead of you.
You're close.
And that's the thing, man. Like, I can't tell you how many times I was turned down, but I can tell you the amount of times that I was told yes. And the thing is that if I would have went into it saying, "Oh, I'm at the club," like as an example, I was at the club. I had this friend who was a head of security at the club, so we would always get in VIP and whatever, and I'd always be rolling with like 20 or 30 deep. And we're in VIP, and I'm like, look, VIP was like an elevated section in the club, so I'm looking down at the dance floor trying to determine, okay, who am I going to talk to or who am I going to dance up on, right? I see this beautiful Latina girl. And so I got some friends of mine who speak Spanish. And so I said, hey, like tell me something that I can tell her to like drop on her that she would find flattering. And so my two buddies are telling me what to say, and I'm like, okay, all right. So I get down to the dance floor, and I'm dancing up against her, and she's grinding back against me, which is normally that signal that, hey, you know, there might be something here as far as an attraction level. And so as she's up against me, I like lean over and I whisper in her ear a little bit. I'm like, "Tu quiere coger," which if you speak Spanish knows, would you like to fuck? And I didn't know that. I thought that I was saying like, you know, hey, you look beautiful, or like you're a spectacular individual or something like that. And these two fucking Latino bros that I have fucked me over in this situation, right? Now, she turned around, instantly smacked me to the point that I fell on the ground. Okay, now that's rejection, bro. That's rejection. That's a good story of rejection. It's a funny story of rejection. You got to have stories. Like the whole purpose in life is that you have stories, right? So if you closet yourself into your room or your house or whatever it is, and you never take those risks, you're never going to have those stories. So I would encourage you to actually go out and make those stories, because nobody's going to make stories for you, bro.
That's good advice. I'm not gonna
the only other reason to jump piggyback on that is because you also need the stories from when you've got those yeses. Because I mean, guys always remember 5, right? And I mean, sleeping with, it's like you always remember your first, hopefully you remember your last, your best, your worst, and the hottest, right? But your friends will always remember that ugly chick, right? So remember those yeses. But the other thing is like I know how I would ask out a lot of girls when I was on dating apps when I was single for a while, and I'd go out on a lot of dates. And some of those nights were like helping me dictate too, like, holy shit, I don't want that. Holy shit, that was insane. And it was like, instead of like always searching for those no's, now I was starting to weed out the yeses, which happens too, because as we say, man, when it rains, it pours. The minute you get that confidence streak back and it starts going, then all of a sudden you're going to be rolling it. You're going, how do I get them to leave me alone now? And that it does happen. It's a true thing. It happens for women. It happens for men. So don't give up on that. I know COVID changed a lot of things, and confidence is a harder thing for a lot of younger men, and not just younger, but I mean, I see it more often when I talk to some of my bros that are a generation behind. And so don't let that fall, man.
Thank you for that advice as well, Jake.
Yeah, stop being a bitch.
Thank you, Dante. I appreciate it.
Stop being a bitch.
Straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
Like, here's the thing, Matt. I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice. See, your problem is you think you like these women. You think you like these bitches. You don't like them. You are infatuated with them. You're like, damn, can I fuck? What would happen if I actually did get her number? Damn, I hope I can like hit third base tonight. Damn, I'm gonna hit a home run. And that's like what we all think, because like you meet somebody or see someone at work, you're like, damn, she's really cute. But past that, what more do you know? You know her middle name, you know where she's from, you know what her interests are, you know what she likes to do outside of work. And it's not like hating or anything on you, raining on your parade. It's like a lot of us think we like these girls, but we're just infatuated with them. And the only reason why I say that is because like I've been caught up in that where like you meet a chick and you're like, damn, she fine as hell. It's like, oh, I like her so much, bro. I like her so like, man, I really like her hair. I like her butt. I like her titties.
I'm gonna ask you a question
else. I don't know anything else about her. I never met her. I never talked to her.
Let me ask you a very questionable question, Matt. Okay.
Oh God, go ahead, Mike.
All right. I'm gonna just say pause. Now I'm gonna just say it now.
No, you
beat
can't
your
say
meat before you
pause.
go out, bro. Pause. Beat your
Wait,
meat.
what?
Do you beat your meat before you go out?
You should. It's like eating before going grocery shopping, bro.
So the reason I say that
depends on the occasion.
So I'm gonna tell you something. When I was stationed over here in Germany in the military, before I would go to the club, I would stop by the red light, pay my little 50 euro, beat down some Romanian or Russian or whatever the fuck is there, right? And then I would go to the club. Why? I'm focused. I'm locked in. Now I'm not thinking with my dick and trying to, find the next thing so I can go ahead and get this nut off and then think clearly, right? You do that beforehand. By the time you get to the club, it's just clarity. Now you can get.
But you would go get laid before. It's all you sit in a shower alone.
Bro, no, I need the real thing, man.
Yeah,
This self-help stuff don't do it sometimes.
That's what he's trying to get, the real thing. He's not beating himself in the shower thinking about it.
But see, when you've been down the drought that Matt has been, he's not going to think clearly. He needs to be able to focus.
That is true.
He needs a game plan because it's not natural.
All right.
Him. Needs a game plan.
Matt, here's your game plan.
Okay. What's up, Brian?
Go get a hooker.
You need.
Believe it or not, Eric, my co-host on Whiskey, has brought that up to me several times at this point. I can't do it, man. It's too easy.
You could do that, or you need to go find a moped. Okay. Now, back in the day, we had this thing called a moped, which is it's all fun and games to ride a moped till your friends catch you doing it, right? You need to go find the fat chick in the club. You need to go
get
jump
that
on
Uggo.
that grenade.
Yep.
You need to go throw flour on it wherever the flour's sticking. You need to fuck that spot, and you need to go have a good time because that will reinvigorate your juices. Now, you might fall in love with her cooking. You might fall in love with her parents. You might fall in love with the way she massages your back. That very well could be your one and only, and I'm not discounting that. But all I'm saying is that you need a rebound right now, and you need something to like chill out your emotions, chill out your nervousness, because I feel like if you don't, you're like Son of Sam was over there, right? Like you're gonna end up being crazy. Like I don't want to see you going crazy.
We're going on well over 3.5 years at this point.
Oh,
so
Lord.
it's
Motherfucker!
it's nothing
Yeah.
you guys don't know. Don't fucking oh my god.
Nah,
me.
bro.
Wow.
My guy, what?
Dude, how big are your nuts right now?
Fucking mangoes.
They get bigger the more they're full. Like, that's
I think so. I don't know. So I've only known one other person to go that route. It's my buddy Kermit.
Kermit, who we bought the hooker for.
Well, we almost bought the hooker. So again, strip club. We're at a strip club. He decides that he wants to be this cowboy guy, right? So he's wearing this tight ass, pair of Wranglers. You could see that he's rocking a Jimmy in his Wranglers, like he's turned on. And in Nevada, where I live, there's brothels like 10, 15 minutes from me, but right next to the strip club that we were at, there's a brothel right across the street. So we take him to the brothel right across the street. We have him roll in. He gets 3 women. He brings them to the back room. Mind you, Kermit has no money. So he comes back out and he says, hey, all these women, what they want to do to me is going to cost $3,500. And I'm like, well, it sounds like that's not going to happen. So you're not going to do that, right? So next to that whorehouse, whatever, house of ill repute, brothel, whatever you want to call it, is another one. So we go into the other one. And there's this kind of cute blonde woman, whatever, and she takes me into the back room. And I'm flirting with the bartender up front. And he comes back out and he says, dude, what she wants to do is going to cost $100. Well, at this point, I'm like, $100? I've known this guy for the entirety of my life. Like, I feel obligated to at least purchase this to get him back in the game. But I don't have any cash on me. And all I had was cash. And so I looked at my buddy Pat and I said, hey, do you have plastic you can put this on and I'll give you cash when we get back to my house? He says, absolutely. So they walk into the back. They do their little negotiation thing. I'm still trying to hit on the honey that's behind the bar, right? 5 minutes later, they come back out, and he looks as disappointed as he did when we walked in. And I'm like, "What the hell happened?" And he goes, "Well, they won't accept American Express if it's less than $1,000." So my guy had to not only get teased with it, but then had to come back home and take it out on the sheets. So what I will tell you is, Matt, go find somebody, go ride that ride. There's no height limit. There's no weight limit. There's no looks limit. Find the ugliest one in there. Tell her she's pretty. Go about your life. It will happen.
You know what sucks? And I think I was thinking about this while you were saying that, Brian. Mike, when we were at your going away party before you left for Germany, there was this one bigger girl, but she was pretty. This blonde girl that was like, damn, she kind of cute. Like right now, she's the best looking person in the bar, and I regret not going up to her. I ain't gonna hold you.
You definitely could have hit too.
I probably could have. Like she probably wouldn't have gotten hit on by anyone else. But I think she was with the group of those fuck boys that we were almost having a problem with, if you remember. But
that's because big girls always told me they're like bowling balls. They let you put it in all 3 holes because they don't know when you're getting it again. And so, dude, that like you would have had it. You would have had it. You would have had it in all the ways that you don't even know you would have had it. So, dude, go get it.
Next time.
You think everyone has a knockback of wildebeest? Listen, we're not all fucking Brad Pitt. All right. Like being real about it. I don't go without because sometimes this is not my wife. I'm just trying to scratch an itch. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. When you're looking for your wife, you're looking for different things, different values. When you're trying to scratch an itch, you want them nasty, bro. Just handle some business and keep it trucking.
Well, I will say this. I do have a plan to go to AC in a couple weeks because I got some people that are going to be there that I want to meet up with.
You better look for Tiffany from Burger King and get busy.
Man, we going to AC, man.
Don't catch it.
Yeah. We going to AC, dog.
If you want to come, I ain't gonna say no.
I'm out the AC was cool, man, but AC's not for me, dog. I didn't.
Yeah, you go to Philly, which is any better.
Well, I don't like to gamble, so it doesn't interest me.
That's fair.
I don't like to gamble. I like to save my money.
You choose that over Philly? Come on. Or you choose Philly over that?
Yeah, I don't like to gamble. What I mean, if you think about it, besides gambling, what is there to do in AC that I can't do anywhere else?
Tiffany at a Burger King.
Yeah, Tiffany from Burger King from
Tiffany
Cam.
from Burger
All right,
King.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
good
that's
time.
all I had.
Yeah.
Hey, have it your way. That's correct now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
now
no,
you're
look,
right.
all right,
Brian.
suck
all
my
right.
Now you're
dick.
fucking
Shut up.
right.
those Southern Jersey girls are nasty, bro.
Yeah, they're
These
gross.
Browns
They're
girls in
they're
Jersey?
absolutely disgusting. Like,
Matt don't need
No.
a face.
As,
Face that
as if
motherfucker. Like,
as if
no,
fucking
like,
North
that's
Jersey girls are any better though half the time. Let's be
it. What are you
honest.
talking about?
How would you know,
You-
man? A lot's changed in the last 3.5 years, bro.
That is a good point.
I
But
don't
I've
know.
seen enough of them. I've seen enough of them, or at least people that look like they're from North Jersey anyway. Because
I mean, I don't understand. It's not really not that difficult. Just tell somebody tell her she look pretty and say yes to a lot of her questions.
On the other side of that, though, on the other side of the coin, I'll argue the other side for you is when they were saying jerk off before you go out. Then that's also going to help you not want to hit the ugly Betty because you're not that horny. You're just out there trying to get a good time.
that's
So-
true.
So please go jerk off, bro. Like,
If anything, I'd
try to
if
help
anything, I don't know. I appreciate it, Jake. If anything, I would probably feel more relaxed. If anything, let's be fair. But that's a different story for a different time. Anyway, do we? What other topics you guys got? Did you guys have any topics that you wanted to bring up? Because I extended the offer to you guys if you had any topics that you would think you'd like to discuss. Because I know we talked about a bunch of stuff before we actually hit record. I hope we didn't lose out on all the good material.
No, I don't think that we've lost out on good material. I think this has been a great conversation so far, and I thank you guys again for having us on. But I do want to hit to something that Panama and I were talking about before you hit record, and that's basically that everything seems to come with a bait label, like it's not a masturbate, but like a race bait or a gender bait or whatever it is. And not to get political here, I just think we can chop it up and we can have a good conversation and we can disagree on topics, but it doesn't require us to not like each other. And I think that that's an important thing in society right now, that especially as we're getting into a presidential election and who's telling what's coming up in the presidential election, right? Whatever hot button issues are going to be out there. I think it's really important for us just to have a good conversation with people and not cut people off, because, one of the things that was announced actually over the weekend was that the block button's going to go away on Twitter or X or whatever you call it. And Jake has a good theory about the block button that hopefully he's willing to share. But I think if you're blocking people, like, it's on you, it's not on them. And so I think that that's a whole different scenario. But Jake, you want to hit on your theory about blocking people?
The block button ruined like social discourse. Like we can have a debate, as you're saying. Like, I feel like I can sit in a room and disagree with somebody and have in a respectful manner. Like, yeah, we can yell out curse words and stuff, but at the end of the day, I have friends that totally disagree with me and live on the other side of the aisle, and I can have a talk with them. And I think, especially with social media and stuff, when you created the block button, you decided to put yourself in a bubble and only listen to people that are like-minded or who didn't make you mad right now, has really fucked with society. In the sense, like, when people block me, I'm like, why? Like I have people that go all the time, like, Jake, why don't you block that person? They're harassing you. I was like, I don't really fucking care. Their right is they're allowed to say what they want, be a keyboard cowboy or a chat room roamie or whatever the fuck they think they are, and that's fine. But I'm not going to block them because, one, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I've always said I hate the block button. I'll never do it. But two is, I don't want to distance myself, however their algorithms work and AI and stuff, to only be in one fucking window. I want to see the world from a bigger picture. Even if I don't like it, I can look at it and go, okay, I can have an opinion on that. Here's why I have that opinion on that. It's like how I'm raising my daughter, how she's going to vote and stuff in the next few years is up to her. It's her own decisions. But I said, have validity behind what you do, have validity behind what you say, and make sure that you think about it instead of, my dad votes this way, so I vote that way. My mom votes this way, so I vote that way. I'm going to do this because I disagree with you. I love disagreeing with people. I mean, I'm the hater for fuck's sake, but it's the fact, like, without that, you will never move past anything else. It is very easy to be in a room and get along with everybody and everybody say stuff. And the funny thing is, every time I'm in those rooms, nothing ever fucking gets done because we all think everything's fucking great and it's just going to continue it as it is. I have had more success in my career and over the years disagreeing with people, getting told no, seeing how I could take the next step. And I think that is very lost.
Amen. I don't know what more to say to that. Honestly, though, I second everything you just said, Jake. But the reason I'm mad that the block button's going away is the fucking bots. Because the only thing I block now on social media is bots now. I can't fucking stand when I see bots trying to follow me on any sort of social media. So that isn't a fucking issue in itself. But I will say this much, because I guess, do we want to talk about this now on the show, or do we want to wait for a later date with what we were talking about this morning, guys?
Oh no, listen, Matt, listen, man. All right, I don't want to spread any, genocidal ideologies on the show.
So
I want to do that.
I will use some
cancel.
context. I'll use some context, because we do intend to have this person on the show at some point in time. But like we were talking before we hit record, how like, someone I know took an issue with some of the discussions we had about the trans community in the last few episodes and such and such. And one of the things that they said specifically to me was, I don't want you being in an echo chamber of bigotry or something along those lines. I don't remember the exact quote, but at the same time, it's like, and here's the thing, like, the reason I like doing this show specifically as opposed to doing whiskey, not that I don't like doing 69 whiskey, because that's a fun show in itself as well. The reason I like doing this show is because it opens my worldview to something more than just, say, adult entertainment, Like, we've talked about so many other topics, the Bromigos, from politics. Like, if you were to talk to me 5 years ago, let's say, the last election, I wouldn't be able to fathom talking about politics. I would just vote and that's it. But, Mike and Dante and even sometimes Hunter, who couldn't make it today, unfortunately, they all have helped open my worldview to talking about certain subjects and issues in the world. And while I may not always agree on some of the things that we say, at least I am a little bit more prepared to bring up those particular subjects if that's ever brought up again to, say, someone I speak to in the real world about this topic. So I don't think, at least maybe in that, maybe not regarding to the trans stuff, I don't think I live in an echo chamber. I did for a long time, but it wasn't until I started like doing stuff like podcasting and doing stuff like Whiskey and Bromigos and giving myself in another spectrum, I guess you could say, of viewing things through a different spectrum, that I was like, wow, this is actually interesting. I would have never have thought about listening or talking about this years ago, no matter what the topic.
That's why they say wisdom comes with age, bro. I remember one time I was arguing with this girl. I mean, I'm a chef, but I work in the meat industry, right? And she was arguing with me why everybody should be a vegan. And besides the point, that she was wrong on other levels that I felt, I said, okay, well, how old are you? And she told me I'm 21. I said, okay. And I didn't want to disregard, age and just say, young people are dumb, because they're not. But it's the fact that there's not enough life experience.
Young people are dumb, though. They
are in a sense of yes and no. Like yes and no. Like you can be smart, but you might not have street smarts, or you can have street smarts and not have book smarts, right? And there's all those little factors that go into it. But the point that I was trying to make to her was, have you traveled a lot? She's like, no. I was like, have you lived from Portland, Oregon, your whole life? And she's like, yes. I was like, go to Alaska. And she goes, why? I said, tell me how easy it is for them to grow their own vegetables and live this lifestyle. She goes, well, they should figure it out. I'm like, that'd be great. I mean, if they want to, but it's not feasible. And so I like to test to people, like, with age is going to come wisdom, in the sense, like, travel more, go outside your realm, get with people you don't like or you think you don't like. The funny thing is sometimes you'll hang out with people and you'll hate them more, or you won't like that, or you'll find out, shit, I have more in common. Like my goal when I go into a meeting is to find a commonality with somebody that I don't think I would, in the sense that you can always find something that you can stand on a rock with somebody else and agree with them on. It doesn't mean you have to agree on everything else. It doesn't mean you're going to be best friends. It doesn't mean you're going to hang out all the fucking time, but get that knowledge and wisdom from an outside source that might experience it, might not, might have the wrong view, might have the right view. And because that is something that is very lacking as well, is the fact of openness and trying to learn. I mean, we don't listen as a society, and it's funny because we're all bros in here talking a lot, right? And that's what we do, but we don't listen.
Ignorance is bliss, though. That's the thing.
Well, and to Jake's point about traveling and Panama, you'll know this, living overseas. When I was overseas in 2017, amidst everything that I was doing, I turned on the news, and it was like BBC and local news stations and whatever. And dude, everything that happens over here, we're a clown show. We're a clown show to the rest of the world, and it's sick in a sense that we get trapped up in the echo chamber here as a country, like not just in one political side or not, but as a country, we get wrapped into so many things that we don't even understand how people in Germany see us, or how people in Italy see us, or how people in Australia see us, or wherever else. And we're so young still as a country. Like this country is only a couple hundred years old. When you go overseas, you're dealing with thousands upon thousands of years of history. Not to say that there's not any more history past 200 years here, but the point being that there's a lot of immaturity that still happens in this country that we just tend to broadcast. A good example of that is we live in a TikTok society right now. Now, I don't have TikTok because I just don't want TikTok. But if you go to China right now, their TikTok is entirely different than our TikTok. Their TikTok is educational. They will teach you how to plant plants. They will teach you how to grow crops. They will teach you how to do educational things. We go over here and we're like, show me your butthole. And like it's entirely different, right?
No butthole, no care.
Exactly. So as a society right now, I feel like, yes, we're having conversations about abortion or about race or about financial issues or wars or whatever it is that we're talking about, right? Gun rights or whatever it is. Like, we could probably have a conversation and come to a middle ground, all five of us together. But as a society, we prevent ourselves from doing that because we deal with all these different identities within our political system. If we believe that the woman has a right to choose, then we have to say there's an abortion all the way up until birth. Now, that's one example. Or if we believe in gun rights, we have to say, oh, everybody has the right to own a gun. Well, I think that there's probably differences in the opinion of that if we talk with each other individually about that stuff. But I think as it pertains to like this cancel culture or this genocidal comment that was made, I think that it's important to have a discussion and realize that not everybody's out to commit genocide. Like, blindly, people will follow people, and that those people as a collective group will do genocide. I mean, look at how the Nazis came about, right? Look at Stalin, look at all that sort of stuff. It doesn't mean that if one person is talking about an issue and has an opinion on that issue, that it's instantly a genocidal maniac situation. I think that it's two entirely different things. And when you light the flame under calling somebody a racist or calling somebody a xenophobe or genocidal without really any basis to the fact,
I think it's a cop-out.
Yeah,
it's a real cop-out comment.
Now it's a poor way of arguing. Like, it's one thing to argue and say, I don't like your point because of X, Y, or Z. It's another thing to call races, or it's like if you're in a fight with somebody and you're instantly like, well, you're a bitch. Well, what does that mean?
You're a B word,
right? Well, you're a B word, right? Like you podcast with Jake the Hater, right? That's what it could mean. But in all reality, it's like it brings no substance to the argument, and I think that that's where society is bullshit. And Mike, I can't even imagine what you see from over here every day. Like when you're turning on the news and they're saying, "Oh my God, Donald Trump or Joe Biden or this political issue or that political issue." I mean, God, dude, we must look embarrassing over there to you.
I think the hardest part throughout it all was trying to justify everything that's going on in the U.S.
Yeah.
My coworkers asking me, "Oh, you guys hire celebrities to be, your leaders." The foolishness. I mean, we look like a clown show, but I don't think it takes foreigners. I mean, within ourselves, like, I guess me being over here and from the outside looking in, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with people? Like, how did we become this way? So I try to find myself asking these questions often. How did we get here? Mm-hmm. Is it because we allowed Donald Trump to take office, or is it because we allowed Obama to take office? Like, where did the problem begin? How can we fix it? That's all I really give a shit about at this point, is how can we fix the problem? Because it's embarrassing. As an American, as someone who has fought for my country, it's embarrassing. You can't explain that when all someone has to do is do a YouTube search and you see the clown show that goes on. People can no longer engage in civil discourse. We can no longer agree to disagree. It has to be, this is my party. I'm riding with my party no matter what. The most idiotic thing. So I like TikTok. I'm a junkie, right? I like the things that you learn. I like the entertainment. I don't like the booty shaking. I'm past that shit.
Yes, you do. Stop lying.
Right. No, dead ass. I skipped right through it. I'm not even joking. It's annoying.
You smell that, Dante?
It's not bullshit, bro. I don't. You know me. Come on.
I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you.
But just going through, like, I came across some Canadian Tom McDonald, I think is his name. He
Yeah,
came
the
out
rapper.
with a song. Yeah, he came out with a
He's
song about.
Canadian?
Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I
Canadian.
didn't even know that. I thought he was American. Okay.
No.
And first off, before I make a comment, I like to semi-inform myself so I don't look that stupid. So I went and I looked up the guy. I'm like, okay, this guy's motherfucking Canadian, talking about America and diving into American politics and giving the under the guise that he's not. It doesn't even say that he's Canadian. It gives off the vibe that, hey, I'm from, I don't know, Texas or whatever the fuck, right? So I go on the TikTok and I'm just reading the comment. Yeah, brother, thanks for you. We stand with you and all. And I'm like, first off, do any of y'all know that he's Canadian? None of them know that. Oh, you're just a hater or whatever. And I'm like, bro, he's fighting for something that he understands from a distance. Number one, in my opinion, right? I think a lot of the times with outside's opinions, I mean, yeah, everyone thinks we're stupid because guns are the leading cause of deaths among children, but we're doing nothing to fix the problem. We need more guns. Like, I think that's the most ridiculous argument ever. But foreigners who have, like, people from Australia who have gone through gun violence, they've taken the necessary steps to either minimize it or bring it to a point where it's no longer a problem in society.
Well, can I ask you a question? Like, when you're saying, he's Canadian and he's not, because I mean, I feel like there could be the other side of the argument. Like, I've met a lot of foreigners, right, who have gotten their citizenship here. Where I live, like Romanians, Mexicans, like a lot of different cultures. And sometimes I find they are more patriotic than actual people that live here. And so, yeah, I'm not discounting what you're saying that he's a Canadian, but I hate that sometimes that side of the argument of saying, well, they don't understand because they're originally from here. And so it's like, you can't, like, I agree with you in the sense that he's a rapper and he's making money based on like going to the people that want to protest Bud Light and make money the way he's rapping, right? But there are people out there that can find the love and support for this country that didn't have to originally be from this country. And I think that's also where the other side of the hatred comes of being like, well, we can't trust any foreigners. Yeah, you can. There's a lot of great ones in this country that came over here, worked hard, and became one. I think we judged on a different way, and maybe because we're looking at it with the capitalistic side of it, right? Like, as I said, he's making money on it. But if he wasn't, would he just be some Canadian guy's like, I'm just fucking proud of this country? And so that's that hard argument, Panama, is like how do you differentiate between that? Like, how do you say this guy's from Canada and he can love this country, but this guy can't? And I think that's the one thing that I struggle with.
I think you do make a valid point in where you say probably what does bother me from it has to do with the monetary gains that he comes from speaking in the way that he is, because whether they realize it, the people that he's speaking to, he's pandering to them. He's basically saying just the way I feel Jason Aldean does. Same exact thing for me.
See, and that's what we were talking about originally, was the whole Jason Aldean thing. And I don't think we were recording when I said this, but
no, we weren't, unfortunately.
But I think it's important to at least for me, like, I don't have a problem with the lyrics. I don't have a problem with the music. I don't have a problem with the music video. Like, if you're putting something out there, stand by it is really my thing. Like, I may not like the music. I may not like the music video. I may not like the lyrics, whatever. But the moment that you cave to cancel culture, or the moment that you cave to whatever pressures you're receiving when you make a statement, like, if you're going to make a statement, put 10 toes in the ground and make a statement, be a man about it. Make the statement and take it on the chin if you have to. But the moment you start to cave, so that way, as an example, Jason Aldean can now have his music video playing on CMT. That just means that the money's more important to you to be able to have that airplay than it is for you to make that statement. Now, granted, he didn't write it, he performed it. So there's different intricacies in that. But I would much rather, if somebody has an opinion, to put 10 toes in the ground, stick their chest out and make their opinion known. Like, it doesn't mean that they have to broadcast it to the world, but if it's important to them that they need to get it off their chest, like, do it and stand by it. The moment that you start to cave from it, it just really bothers me, because if it's that important to you, you can't just say, oh, no, I was just kidding. Like, no, you weren't. You stood there and you said it.
That's why I respect hip hop a lot more in that regard, because look at Tupac's early stuff. A lot of his early works was the gripes that he had with police and, being black in certain communities. And there was plenty of interviews he did. And the only reason I know this is because I watched that Dear Mama documentary on FX. I'm sure, Dante, you might have had too. They were trying to paint him out like, oh, you hate police, you want to commit violence against police, when all he was doing was trying to explain to people what goes on in the hood. Same thing for NWA's Fuck the Police. Maybe I haven't done the research on this properly, but as far as I've been made aware, they never backed down from that song.
Well,
they never backed down from that song.
Let me put it into perspective too. So Ice Cube's been canceled, right? In certain areas.
Canceled.
Yeah. So his stance on COVID was that he didn't want to take the jab, right? And I feel that that's his decision. But in that, he lost out on paydays. He lost out on work. And he's standing, 10 toes in the ground, chest out, saying, here's the reason why I made the decision. And he's doing the whole podcast tour right now where he's sitting down with like-minded and adversarial people where he's saying whatever. And one of the things that he said was he was on Bill Maher's whatever Bill Maher's podcast is, and he said Bill Maher asked him, what's your thoughts on the police? And he said, same thoughts I had back when I released it. And the thing is that he's not wrong. Like, there's great police that are out there. There are some really good policemen that are out there, but there's still problems within that community that still have to be dealt with. And so he's not wrong. Like, not everything has to be wrong in that. Like, if one thing's wrong, you don't have to throw it away. Like, you can dissect that a little bit and say, why do you still think police are bad? And Bill Maher did. He says, look, not all police are bad, but the problem is that these certain things are still happening in communities. And that's the thing that I think we have to be aware of, is that it is subjective in a sense where it is one person's opinion or one person's witnessing of something happening. But as a society, we can't just rush to judgment on certain things. Like, I can't say as a society we should say that all police are bad. And I can't say as a society we should say all police are good. I think we have to come together as different communities that recognize issues and say, hey, these issues have to be changed. And that's important. But eliminating the discourse around that is the biggest issue.
I mean, I ain't gonna hold you. My ADHD has been running rampant during this entire conversation, so I don't know what the fuck we talking about. I'm not
Terrible.
I'm not gonna lie and act like I'm following, but I know I started off by saying somebody said that me and Mike are pushing genocidal ideologies, and I just want to say to that person and to anybody else out there that has a problem with what I say or with what Mike says. Okay, listen. My opinions come from a space of education, comes from a space of understanding of both sides, okay? And none of my opinions come from a place of ignorance, okay? I don't just say stuff just to be saying, even though I sometimes say some crazy shit. I will say some crazy shit. Believe me, I've thought about it before I said it, because even though some things I might say are rash, they might sound crazy. You got to understand, like we've all been saying, everybody has different opinions. I mean, no one's going to agree with everything you say. I mean, I don't expect everybody to like what I say or agree with it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And why the hell would I say it? Because if everyone agreed with everybody, we'd have no problems. Well, we got problems. You know why I got problems? Because people got different opinions on how to handle it, you know? And we have made a lot of comments and had a lot of segments about the LGBTQ community. And I just want to say one thing. I have nothing against that community. I really don't. But some of y'all be on bullshit. And I'm going to call that out. I'm going to say what I have to say. And that doesn't mean I'm hating on a community or I don't like a community or I want to spread, evil hate towards this community. No, it's not that. It's that certain things that go on within the community, certain things that are said, I don't like, I don't agree with. So I'm going to have an opinion on it. Just like people have certain opinions on things going on within the Black community. Just like people have certain opinions about things that go on in the white community, the Hispanic community. It doesn't make those people racist. Just because a white dude doesn't like certain things that we do in the Black community, Black on Black crime. A lot of white people have an opinion on that. If they say something about it, does that make them racist? Okay. Am I gonna compare them to Hitler? Am I gonna compare them to a slave master because they don't like the way we interact with each other in the Black community? No, they have every right to have that opinion. And I have every right to dispute it if need be. So if you watch little clips from the show, okay, if all you see is a 1-minute clip, if all you hear is a 30-second soundbite, don't give your fucking opinion. I'm sorry, but how the hell can you have an opinion if you don't know the whole story? How the hell can you have an opinion if you don't know what's going on both sides? And it's not, and I'm not calling anybody out. I know you think I am, but this is how I feel about all issues, because too many people have an opinion on something, or too many people want to comment on something without understanding the whole story, without hearing everything. And you got to understand context. And if you only get a little bit of that context and then you speak on that without hearing the rest of it, or getting a better understanding of where those people are coming from, then we could never come to common ground on any kind of issue. And I feel like that's exactly what a lot of us have been saying. You know, we can all have different opinions, but to come to common ground, sometimes you got to sit there, shut the fuck up, and listen. Because a lot of times people you don't agree with have some great ideas and might make you sit there and be like, damn, he's saying some real shit. I agree with what he's saying. We might not agree on everything, but that's a good point. So that's all I'm saying. You know, don't have an opinion if you don't know the whole story. Because if I speak on something I don't know, and you speak on something you don't know, and we're having an argument, it makes us both look ignorant and it belittles us both. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
There's your new clip, Matt.
Someone will still find a problem with what he said. Guaranteed.
Just to touch on that real quick. Also, I could give a fuck less how people choose to live their lives. I have zero problems with anyone. Your country, city boy, trans, gay, purple, blue. I do not care. I just want people, when they make decisions, to use common sense. There's certain things, especially when it comes to children, that they shouldn't be exposed to. I don't care where you stand on it. Let kids be kids for as long as they can be kids, because life is going to remove the innocence from them anyway. So why are we in a rush to take that away from them? That's my only issue. I don't care. I have friends of all walks of life from all different kinds of countries. I do not care. I just really want people to be happy. Ultimately, all I care about is everyone being happy, everyone having good mental health, everyone getting laid. You want to do drugs, do your drugs, man. Just be careful. You want to fuck around a lot, do it. Just be careful. You want to drink alcohol, slow the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? Do what it is that you want to do. Just utilize common sense when you're doing it. Stop forcing your ideologies. I don't like religion. I think religion is nonsense. I was force-fed religion as a child, so I'm not really big on it. You know, however, I can also see how someone believing in a higher power, how that can uplift them. I've seen people work their ways out of utter despair, just believing in God. That's their business. People, you feel you were born in the wrong body. You need to do what you need to do to feel good. That's your business, man. Just stop forcing it onto other people. That is my only thing. What I believe in, we can talk about it. Hey, you don't agree with what I believe? Fine. We can agree to disagree. Shake your hand, hug it out. Let's go get a drink, and we're good.
Just because Billy cut off his dick, you gonna do the same thing? No, you're gonna think about it first. You're gonna think about it first.
And I will say something that it'll be like the equivalent of bringing the Bloods and Crips together. and I say this as me and Mike. Me and Mike would be like the Bloods and the Crips. We'd bring it together. Fuck the Dallas Cowboys.
Are we gonna do this?
Dallas Cowboys.
Are we gonna do this?
Listen, we're gonna do this.
Let me tell you something. B word. First of all, before we go down that road, I have been very impressed by you two. Like, I am utterly impressed. Like, this is probably I love engaging in conversation, and I didn't have a whole lot to say because, really, as you guys hear, I talk a lot. I'm thoroughly impressed with you two. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I've listened to your show. I didn't have a chance to. I will, because you guys, the way you explain it in a way, like, even if you disagree, how can you hate? How can you argue with them? Like, it's okay. But with that being said, fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, Cowboys. Seriously?
Cowboys till I die, man. It's that's what it's gonna be.
Why? You live in fucking Nevada. How the fuck did that happen?
Okay, before the Raiders moved to Nevada, what teams were in Nevada?
You had everything
Lacey.
from California
Not
to fucking
none.
root for.
Yeah, fuck California.
You had
okay?
you had the
fuck
Los-
all
you
of
had the
California.
Cardinals.
California. I hope Hillary suicides California. Let's put it that way. California can suck Jake's dick. Like California is just this terrible fucking state. All right.
That's
so
true.
when you live in a state that doesn't have a team, right? And I think you know the Jersey folks here can probably attest to it, because even though the teams play in Jersey for a long time, they were the New York whatevers, right? And that's just like I want to identify with something. So the year was 1988 or 89, one of the two. It was Thanksgiving. My grandma's was fully Italian. My grandpa was mostly Native American, and so you had the Native American people in the living room watching the Cowboys versus the Redskins. Yes, I use that word because that's what they were. And I walked into the kitchen, and you had all these white women in there that were cooking. And I'm a fat kid, right? So I'm sitting there playing, and my grandma looks at me and she goes, "Do you want to eat Thanksgiving dinner?" And I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, who are you rooting for?" I said, I'm rooting for the Redskins." And she goes, "No, you're rooting for the Cowboys because those Redskins in there can fuck all off." And I went, "Okay, I'm rooting for the Cowboys." So from then on, I've been a Cowboys fan. Well, little did I know, it was like 2008, 9, 10, somewhere in there. I'm sitting there and I'm watching the Cowboys with my grandma. And we're talking about how bad Tony Romo is. And she goes, "I just miss that Troy Aikman." And I said, "Yeah, he was a great quarterback." And she goes, "No, I just loved his butt. That's why I've been a fan of the Cowboys." So I'm a fan of the Dallas Cowboys because of my grandma, which is through Troy Aikman's butt. And you know what? I'll die on that hill. Go Cowboys.
You know what's funny? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna out myself here. For about a span of 3 years in middle school, I was a fan of several different teams in football. One of them was the Cowboys.
You seem like that kind of guy.
Yeah,
You seem
For
like
a
that
time,
kinda
I
guy.
was. I still had my Giants. I still
Worst
had
guy.
my
And you want to
Giants.
give somebody crap going, "You were close to California." Fuck. Oh yeah, you were a Cal. Why were you a Cal? Where the hell are you? Yeah, shut the fuck.
I liked Marion Barber. That's why I was
Oh
a
my
Cowboys
God.
fan.
I bet you
Marion
liked
the
his butt,
Barbarian
too.
was
Yeah,
fantastic.
you liked
Rest
his
in
butt.
peace, man. Oh man, but I
has to
I
be-
can't talk all kinds of shit. But I mean, I still had my Giants. Like I had the Giants. I was I guess rooting for the Jets for a little bit because they were another New York team. For some reason, I really liked Phillip Rivers, so I was a big Chargers fan for a couple of years on their Super Bowl run. So, like that was what I did. Now it's just strictly mostly New York stuff, or if not all of it's New York stuff.
I'll tell you, I
Jets-
rooted for the Giants when they were going against the Patriots.
When they had Tard
I'll take
Manning,
it.
Yeah. When they had down Manning.
the mouth breather. Yeah.
And then I've never rooted for the Eagles. Fuck all of the Eagles. Fuck the entire Eagles team. The Eagles fucking suck.
Did you see
Panama?
did you see
I
the
love you.
smile
You're
wipe on
good,
his
but
face?
fuck all of that. Like I've never rooted so hard in a fucking Super Bowl in years, dude. It's been 30 years since I've rooted hard in a Super Bowl, dude. I was on Patrick Mahomes' dick more than Brittany was. Like I swear to God, I love the fact that they lost, and I'm terrified of your team this year because I think you guys are gonna repeat, but. God
Did you
damn.
hear all the shit he gave me all last season on the podcast, though?
Who's that?
You gave me so much
Because-
shit all last
Listen.
season.
You know why? Most of my friends back home are Giants fans. Okay. And I got to hear, you know how difficult it's. So I've been an Eagles fan since I first stumbled upon football. I liked Philly sports because of Allen Iverson, my favorite player of all time. Right. So then from there, I just so happened to stumble into football, and I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this Weapon X Brian Dawkins? So from there, I became a Philly sports fan. I ride with my team. Do you understand how difficult it's been to hear for years? We're so good to make trips to the Super Bowl. Oh, you guys are good, but you have no Super Bowl. You have no rings. You have all the no rings shirts. Eagles suck. Blah 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 blah. I got sick and tired of hearing it. So then when we finally won, I cried like a fucking baby. I swear to God, on the ground, crying, "Oh my God, we won." And then, so last year, all the Giants fans, I got to hear their mouth. "Yeah, you guys are good, but you're not going to do nothing. You're not playing anyone. You're not playing anyone." So when we
You
started
weren't playing anyone.
oh my God, shut up. And you guys were the delusional. You guys are delusional. To
I w-
honestly think you were going to do anything. I'm like, we're going to go, we're making it to the playoffs. We're going to beat you guys. Like, are you going
I never said that. I never said that.
Well, we have receipts. I don't
Find the
know what
fucking receipts because I said it would be competitive. I would want us to win, but I don't think we were going to win.
Monte, who's your team?
I'm not gonna lie. Tom Brady retired. I don't care about football. It doesn't matter to me.
I love the younger generation picks players over fucking
Doesn't
teams.
matter to
Yeah.
me.
I will tell you the only game that I was disappointed in last year was the fact that the Cowboys and the Eagles didn't meet in the playoffs. I wanted a healthy Eagles team to meet a healthy Cowboys team and to duke it out, because I don't think that they're and I realize that the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl, but I don't think that there were two better teams last year than the Cowboys and the Eagles. I mean, I realize that the Chiefs won, and yes, you got to give them their flowers, but during the season, up until the playoffs, up until that point, there were not two better teams than the Eagles and the Cowboys. And I wanted to see those two just duke it out. I wanted that heavyweight bout, and that's what I'm so disappointed that we didn't get. And I hope this year we have some good bouts.
I wouldn't have. So if we would have won the Super Bowl, of course, it would have been utter bliss for me. But I did want to see us I have a friend, my boy Lou, Black Lou. He's been my guy for a very long time. He's a lifetime Cowboys fan. And I just can't stand him when he talks about in all your Super Bowl rings that you can watch on VHS and all the history and all we them boys and all our defense and blah, blah, all that fucking dribble. I just wanted to meet y'all, slap you in the face, sit you down, shut up, sucking your lollipop.
Yeah, I'll let you suck on my lollipop. Go Cowboys.
I want this for the record. I want this for the record. When the Eagles lost in the Super Bowl, Mike, we didn't say shit. I don't think any of us said shit, and Mike threatened to fight all of us in the chat.
I did.
He threatened to literally commit bodily harm towards us. We didn't say a fucking word.
Don't talk to me.
We just wanted to check on you. We just wanted to check on you, make sure you were okay. And this man said to me, "I will fucking fight you." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I better back off." I'm serious.
I'm glad you said something, because nigga, I was gonna be talking a whole bunch of shit.
Before the fourth quarter, 3 quarters to the fourth quarter, I was at my boy's house. I left. I didn't even really say goodbye. I said, "Bro, I'm leaving." I was like, "Let's go. I'm going home." I didn't even watch the end of the game because I was pissed. I couldn't understand the calls that we were making and why we were making them and how we can't adjust and what the fuck are we doing. We didn't play like this all fucking season.
Because your coach is a douche. That's why. He's a giant fucking douche.
Sit your ass down. Don't talk about no douchey coaches, please. You did nothing. You didn't even underachieve. You're an utter failure last season. Don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
Utter failure.
Utter failure.
Okay.
With the delusion that you guys were actually going to accomplish anything last season.
All I care about is we beat the fucking Vikings, which we should have beat them in the Christmas Eve game, and I'm pissed that we didn't do that. So I got my win. That's what that's all I cared about. I knew we weren't going to beat you.
You're satisfied with winning over Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Kirkers, the fucking snowball rapper. Yeah, I'm so proud of you guys.
Yeah,
just like the Super Bowls they won them. I'll give them that. But
listen, I'm just glad our defense didn't have fucking holes like they did in the latter half of the Christmas Eve game. Our defense actually held up this time.
Well, it sounds like
Jefferson.
It sounds like in this season that you're going to be a Jets fan. You're going to ride on Aaron Rodgers' dick and go about that way. They got Dalvin Cook. They got your Minnesota Miracle on their team now. So yeah, we'll see, man. If you don't like. This is my passion, and Jake and I will get in arguments over it too, because Jake is no longer a Washington football team Redskins Commanders fan.
You can come back though. Dan Snyder's gone.
I know. I told him I because we did a draft on our show. I'm a Cardinals fan because that's where I was born, Phoenix, but I was always a diehard Redskin fan growing up, and I feel like that guy who left his wife for a year and like had a fling, and I'm probably gonna be going back now that Dan Snyder's gone, because fuck him and whatever he's done. I mean, that's the most embarrassing owner ever besides Jer Jones. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be whatever. It depends on what they become too. I mean, it's hard being a red commie, but you know.
Can I get some early Super Bowl predictions? Who you think's? You don't have to tell me who's gonna win, but who you think is gonna get to the big dance?
Detroit Lions.
Oh no!
What?
No!
I'm putting it in the universe because I got money on it, so that's all I care about. I'm a big gambler. That's all I care about. The money line, baby.
Here's the thing, Panama. The NFC East has had this game with who wins the NFC Championship, and it doesn't seem to stick any 2 years in a row for a long time. So my guess is that. I think that record's going to break. I think you guys are going to take the NFC East. I do not think, however, that you guys will make the big dance, and that's not because I'm on this show. That's just because it is hard to make that dance 2 years in a row. You guys lost your coaches. Like, there's other factors that go into it. From the AFC side, I think they're putting way too much money on the Jets, and I still think that Joe Burrow deserves some flowers. So it wouldn't shock me if the Cincinnati Bengals make it on that end. The Bills are still dealing with the Madden curse. They don't have the Patrick Mahomes. So I don't see that they're going to be able to overcome. So I'm going to go with long shot, and this can probably change even within the next week. I'm going to go Cincinnati and fuck. I'm going to go Cincinnati and the Seahawks.
Yeah. See, if I did a real prediction, I got the Bills Niners in the Super Bowl this year.
Niners need a quarterback. I'm not trusting them. I think the Seahawks are under. I think the Seahawks are underestimated.
And they did have a good latter half of the season last year.
They're competitive.
Blew me with that one. Maybe we can come on your show and talk about that, but you just blew me with that one. Seahawks.
Just listen. Just as long as y'all know,
Tom Brady's not in the dance.
I don't give a fuck about that. As long as y'all know the Los Angeles Lakers gonna win another chip this year. Matt, I'm putting you on notice. Mike, I'm putting you on notice. You know your bum ass Sixers ain't doing shit. Your bum ass Knicks ain't doing shit. So I just want y'all. I'm just putting it on notice. Both of y'all organizations are trash. Fuck both of y'all squads. All right, y'all ain't going nowhere. Mike, your team got an MVP and can't get past the second round. Fuck y'all. Matt, I mean, you're a Knicks fan, so I don't even know what you expect me to say, but you're trash ass organization. You weren't even alive the last time y'all went to a finals. That's terrible.
You weren't either. Well, none of us were.
The best coach that the New York Knicks ever had was Whoopi Goldberg.
Agreed.
Eddie was legit.
Eddie was
fucking sister act herself, dude.
Matt, you ever seen Eddie?
I haven't.
It's like the only good movie.
Go watch it, Cuddy.
They won a game.
Go watch it.
That's just another. That's another one I have to add to the list. Is going back to our previous discussion, but man, this has been a fun show, man. I think it's time to take us to church. What do you think, Mike?
Go on and take us to church, Playboy.
Gentlemen, B-word, hater. Thank you guys for joining us. Please plug your shit. We tell the people where to find you.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Check out Bleach Bros Podcast on whatever podcast platform you do. We got a website that's out there, bleachbros.com. Check us out on socials at Bleach Bros Pod, and new episodes every Sunday.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Oh, by the way,
thank you so much for being here, y'all.
You might hear my voice on one of your episodes in the future. You guys are doing this big old top 50, or was it top 100 movies of all time? Or
top 50. Top 50, man. It's been tough. Yeah. Top 50 movies all time. It'll be actually, when we're recording this, the first episode of that's broken into 5 episodes. We're doing one a month, third Sunday of every month. Upcoming, we've got our annual NFL preview coming out that we've got a couple guests coming on. Every February, we've got our Super Bowl show that comes out, or every January, I think it depends on when it airs. But yeah, we talk a whole lot of stuff, man, from movies to sports to some societal stuff, mental health. Occasionally, we try to do it when we just try to be real with it.
Well, we appreciate the fact that you kept it real on this show. As for us, you made episode 50 very special, so thank you. Where you can find the Bromigos podcast is on a litany of different podcasting platforms, including, but not limited to, Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeart, Good Pods app, so many more. If you have a podcasting platform that you like to listen to the show on, search up the Bromigos podcast. There's fucking dozens of them I've learned over the course of the last couple of months as I've done some research myself. We're the best, let's be honest. Anyhow, Twitter or X or whatever the fuck it's called that we can't block anybody on apparently now. At Bromigos Pod, Facebook and Instagram, The Bromigos Pod, TikTok, The Bromigos Podcast. And who would like to talk about the YouTube today?
I mean, just watch the YouTube because Like y'all really be pissing me off. I just don't understand it. Like I know y'all be watching y'all weird shit. Y'all be going through the shorts. I know you'll be watching the Ice Spice videos or bending over, shaking that fatty. But y'all don't want to subscribe. Y'all want to subscribe to this. Subscribe, y'all. Yeah. What y'all doing? It's one button. It's not hard. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a bitch. Your mama ain't raised a bitch, so stop acting like one.
If you want to watch a frog looking ass woman fucking shake ass on the shorts, you can fucking check out the Bromigos podcast. I'm sticking to that until the day I fucking die. I don't care. Anyway,
just don't come exposing your bigoted and hatred worldviews. Okay.
Yes. I'm a genocidal maniac. Everybody.
Stop your genocidal ideology.
Genocidal.
Last but not least, Full Swap Radio. Thanks for syndicating our show every Sunday at 10 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. Please adjust that to your standard time, to your time zone, to check that out. This has been fun, guys. You're always welcome back.
Word.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace
God
out,
bless
folks.
everybody.
Peace.
You've been listening to the Bromigos Podcast.
Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow. I beat her. That's okay. She'll be back. Another